Yep. All right.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the PTW podcast. Today we have Greg Tree as always, and we have the mind behind NXT of LS11, Ray Wood.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
So today we're going to be going over some NXT stuff, some LS11 stuff. We're getting the other side. You guys saw in episode 1 we had Xander, saw him shoot on CM Punk, and today we'll be having Ray. Let's see if we have any. I feel like it might get a little bit more crazy today, but maybe, potentially.
Personalities are vastly different, but it'll be interesting to see how the episodes compare.
But we're definitely gonna get into some spoilers. So if you haven't watched NXT TakeOver London, I will link it in the description right now. Go click on that. Go watch it. Obviously, so you don't get spoilers. Because some big stuff happened on that pay-per-view.
And we're also going to be spoiling the NXT episode immediately after that takeover.
But we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't told you guys what happens.
No, I'm actually
we're
intrigued.
Getting the first scoop here.
All right. Okay. So you're intrigued by what I'm gonna do. Okay. So should I just go ahead and tell you guys, or should I or how about you guys start asking with your first question of me?
So I have a first question just after watching that main event. What made you decide to take the belt off of Dunn?
Okay, that's an interesting one. So Pete Dunne is a guy who I really built in season 1 to be champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I built him to be the babyface champion that would win the title at the big show, defeating Adam Cole, my year-long champion. So at that point, what kind of became odd was that I was looking at my direction at that point, and it looked almost as if I was going to have a very similar title reign to Adam Cole, that year-long thing, losing it at a big show, because I'm not gonna lie, that was when he was originally going to lose it. So I was like, okay, I need to take the belt off Dunn earlier, because I also kind of like the idea, and I arrived at this very early on Dunn's reign. I arrived at this conclusion, was that Adam Cole had not that many defenses spread out over a long period of time. If you look at Pete Dunne's reign over a much shorter period of time, he had a lot more defenses.
Yeah.
He defended the belt on weekly TV a few times. So I just kind of, I don't know, it was just a fun idea to me of having a guy with a long reign, not that many title defenses, and a guy with, I think, almost double the title defenses with almost a third less of the length of the reign.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I kind of found fun. And, people love Walter, honestly. It was a hugely part of our audience was honestly upset that Walter did not win that triple threat or Dunn won the title.
And then I noticed that's when you guys kind of you almost put Walter to the back of the line again and slowly built him back up to again face Pete Dunne at TakeOver London.
Yeah, that was very methodical, slow thing.
Yeah.
And also, I wanted him to enhance something else. And I think I'm going to talk about this later because I'm pretty sure this is one of your questions, just dictated from previous conversations we've had. So yeah, that's pretty much why I took the belt off Pete Dunne for the parody of it. And also because I like long range champions, but I feel like if you're going to have one very, very long reigning champion, you need to keep the other belts moving around.
Yeah.
Otherwise everything's going to get stale.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because otherwise it could feel stale if especially if you keep your tag and your mid card and main card, if they keep retaining over and over again, it's every pay-per-view there's not. I feel like almost every pay-per-view, I mean there could be some in there that have all titles being retained, but I feel like sometimes there always has to be at least a little change, whether it's for me for Raw, I have that cruiserweight title which I can change up now, or I can have the tag belt switch like they did at Halloween Havoc, or just the US or the WWE. So it's just, I feel like a title almost has to change hands at least one of them at most pay-per-views, unless it's a very, very minor pay-per-view.
Yeah, especially at B-show pay-per-views. But definitely at a Big Four, something memorable needs to happen at a Big Four to make it that prestigious of a show.
And also what you described is the conundrum I'm in, because there's 5 takeovers a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 5 seasons, and they're all split up by like 6 to 10 weeks. And so when those things come around, you really do have to have a title change or two on that show to make it feel worth it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how we are pretty much with the exclusive. So we do, obviously, he does Raw, I do SmackDown. We do the exclusive pay-per-view. So most of the time there's an 8 to 10 week build. Like, so from our last pay-per-view, No Mercy, my next pay-per-view appearance is Survivor Series. So there's almost, I think, an 8 to 9 week build I had from there. So like even then, for what I did was I started a year. I introduced the European title. I wanted to bring it back, and I did a tournament over that time, and that really made it basically to fill time, get some guys going, and then I had the IC title change hands on the premiere episode of the new, like, start getting into this new universe. So like
two
really
titles. You had the SmackDown tag titles and the IC championship change hands.
Well, the SmackDown, I guess, never mind. Well, it's coming out next week. Wait, I don't know if anybody. Never mind. Go ahead. Robert Roode was obviously traded. That's why they dropped the tag belts.
Yeah. Well, he was traded the following week.
Mm-hmm. But that's why they dropped the tag belts that night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he had to go.
Mm-hmm.
Just shows up on Raw with the blue tag belt.
So I'm diving around for the records of Xander's when he went through and made all the records, but I cannot find these.
It should be in just the Discord, right? So something that I've been actually, I want to talk more about Takeover. The Ricochet match, first of all, was amazing. I like that match a lot. The Ricochet and it was a Ricochet and James Connors, right?
Joseph Connors.
Damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I feel like cruiserweight matches in general are always so good because the movesets of cruiserweights are so superb and they're so intricate.
Yeah. What's fun about that was so I know, like, in Xander's podcast you asked him, like, what star does he, like, consider his biggest success?
Mm-hmm.
And Ricochet is up there for me. I would say Ricochet is one of my better successes for him because Xander he wanted to do something with him on Raw and he couldn't, and like he kind of made this deal that if by the Rumble time period, or no, the Survivor Series time period, that if he hadn't figured something out, I would take Ricochet. I took him. I almost immediately put the Cruiserweight title on him, and he ran with it from there.
Yeah, I mean, 280 days.
Yeah, he had an amazing reign. I loved booking that. And he also was a championship legitimizer to me.
Mm-hmm. Like he made that title mean something.
Yeah, not that I didn't love and appreciate the Gargano and like what I booked with Gargano, as the cruiserweight champion. Which that's another thing that we're gonna get into later, kind of connects with some other stuff. But if you remember the first cruiserweight champion, that was Mike Kanellis.
Mm-hmm. 95 days here.
Yep. And he was always planning to lose it, but I wasn't planning on him getting released.
Yeah.
Actually, hence why if you watch Takeover New York, which is the before the WrestleMania, which I personally I still think is the best takeover we ever done.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ricochet versus Will Ospreay. Because the original match in my head was Ricochet versus Mike Kanellis.
Mm-hmm.
But then Mike got released. So
yeah. So I mean, like just to touch on it, like Johnny Gargano, I like we've talked a lot about, like we talked to Xander that Tommaso Ciampa might be like the biggest star, but Johnny Gargano has an argument in that. I mean, he had a 140-day reign as cruiserweight champion, and then he goes up to SmackDown. I mean, he's been Intercontinental champion, beating Ciampa at Mania, and I'm sure he'll be a world champion sooner than later.
Maybe.
But I mean, like there's a good chance that he could potentially be Johnny Gargano could be like that guy right beside Tommaso Ciampa as like one of those top guys in universe. And Adam Cole too. I mean, Adam Cole, NXT champion for a year, and then he goes and wins the World Heavyweight title after winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, Undisputed Era has been super successful too.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of roots from your NXT now in this main roster who are being very successful. So I mean, that makes you look even better because you built those guys in NXT and now they're doing great things on the main roster with Xander. I mean, obviously you write with him, but it all equals out. But you're building the guys, and then you're building stars on your brand, and then they're becoming even bigger stars as world champions and stuff on SmackDown and Raw, which is impressive.
Thank you a lot. It means a lot. But the thing is about that is, Xander and I had that plan from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I started booking Gargano in NXT, knowing he was going to be gone by NXT TakeOver. I think it was Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So I had the chance to build that, and the UE reigning for a year, then taking over SmackDown. That was one of our original plans.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also like just a kind of a proof of concept for longer term booking, longer term planning. But that's also a double-edged sword in the sense that if you get too in your head about where you think the story should go, you have natural growth, natural progression, natural everything,
Yeah.
So I've got a question because
I'm going to let you ask your question real quick, though, but I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. So when it comes to like booking, because I know you're like the lead writer of all three shows, or at least like you. Would you say lead writer, or would you just say like one of the writers for all three shows?
I am lead writer for NXT, co-writer for SmackDown, assistant writer for Raw.
So when it comes to writing storylines, I've kind of been thinking about this.
Yeah.
After a world champ loses their title, where would you go with that? Because like I've always had the difficulty of, obviously there's like, at least the way that we do it, like they have a rematch clause. They can use it and fight again if they so choose. But also I feel like it's so tough to have a world champ go like from being the world champion, especially if it's someone who's had like a 200+ day reign. It's almost like, do you write them off? Are they injured? Do you just take them off air?
Yeah.
I have some input on this after I hear Ray's answer.
Okay. I think your mic cut out.
Yeah, Ray, I think you might be muted. I was so confused for a second. I hear the birds chirping, I think.
Okay.
There you go.
Hard thing to answer because like your question immediately following that has to be, well, how popular are they? Oh crap! It's full screen.
So yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. The following question would be: is like how?
Now my computer is running slow.
Oh no, yeah, you're good.
My my thing is, so like I don't know if you watch any other universe modes. I think you're good. Go ahead and mic check real quick. Oh God, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're good.
But like I was saying, I don't know if you watch any other universe modes, but like Murph's, he's obviously pretty much the biggest guy in the community right now. He had Rusev hold the belt for 600. Yeah, you're good. Hold the belt for 600 days. It's not 600 days in kayfabe. Like after he went through and actually kayfabed it, it was actually like 200 days actually in universe mode. But still, it was a long reign. So he wanted to make it like when he finally lost that belt at WrestleMania, he wanted to make it like Rusev, like he was running so hard on the top, like his body started to break down. So like afterwards, like he had Rusev like wear a knee brace from like matches. It was just really good storytelling about how like Rusev's body, he was running so hard on the top for so long, like that his body broke down and like he just wasn't the same guy after that title reign.
Yeah.
Which I thought was an incredible idea. Oh. Bye, Ray.
I hope you guys didn't. No, I'm just playing. Nice 15-minute podcast. But yeah, I mean, it's the more I'm thinking about it, it is kind of tough. Like when you have someone who like say for instance, say in our universe mode, Kevin Owens were to hold the belt all the way till Mania.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if he finally loses it at WrestleMania, I have no idea what he would do after that.
I feel like that would be the payoff. Like finally, I don't know. Like I feel like it wouldn't even be bad for like a change of scenery for him at that point. Like that's what's nice that we have both shows.
Yeah. Either change of scenery, or I can even use him in the sense of like just in other like non-title feuds with like other superstars.
Because
like,
at that point, I mean, pretty much Kevin Owens would probably be your biggest superstar.
Yeah.
If he held the belt that long, I mean, he's main evented every pay-per-view so far.
Yeah, No Mercy on Havoc. And that it's not out yet. We haven't decided who's gonna main event Survivor Series. At least it's not public yet.
Not public.
So I think it'll really depend on who Roman's opponent is. Because obviously we know
Roman's Daniel Bryan's hurt, but as of right now, Daniel Bryan is confirmed.
Yeah. Because we obviously know Kevin Owens' opponent being Big E. Due to the fact of the number one contendership match, which Big E
what I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, so he hasn't seen. But
would this be some shit if you accidentally delay this one, your next show, then this comes out? Oh, that'd be tough. Is it on Raw episode? I don't know what number we are. 9.
8 was the go home show for Havoc. 9 is the show immediately following.
Okay.
Havoc.
I got to do 9 commentary for 9 still. If you want to come through for that eventually.
Yeah,
I can help you with your episode 10 of Raw.
Yeah, we filmed some of it that day. Actually, most of it. I think I just had to film like one match, being the Open Challenge.
Yeah.
Which actually will already be out by the time we're uploading this, so they'll already have seen it. It's crazy the way Inception works like that when you're recording videos. Like the way that it eventually goes public.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know Ray's not here.
I sent Ray a text. I'm not really sure where he's at.
I do have like the records and stuff pulled up.
You found it?
Yeah. I have records and I also have like the rosters. And I was gonna ask him when he gets back. I want your opinion first before he joins back. Do you think the NXT Championship is the most prestigious out of all 3 brands right now?
It's definitely between the NXT title and their World Heavyweight title.
I mean, especially with the names who have held the World Heavyweight, it's tough to beat. Rollins, McIntyre, Tommaso Ciampa, now Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm. I know Rollins, wasn't the most prestigious champion. Like he didn't have the best challengers, if I recall correctly. I believe it was like Andrade.
So did McIntyre. Did they immediately start with the World Heavyweight?
No, it was originally the Universal. And then I think at some point during Drew's reign, they switched.
Okay, I didn't know if they were going to add another graphic.
There he is.
Hey, welcome back.
Hi. I was like, sorry about that. Okay.
You're good.
So I finally changed my setting and I rebooted my computer and it should look and be better now.
Okay.
It does sound very good.
Okay.
We just kept running with it.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay. What's the question right before I cut out? How to beat the guy right before Style Reign. We'll edit around this, I guess.
That's fine.
We just kept going with it, man.
Yeah, we just kept talking.
Sorry about that. Okay.
No, you're good.
Well, it really depends on how legitimate he came out of the title reign looking, right?
Yeah.
As to where he goes. Like, but there's different things in wrestling. I know people in the YouTube like wrestling space who believe that after you hold a world title, you should never hold a mid-card title ever again.
Mm-hmm. I personally don't. I wouldn't agree with that completely, but
I think agree with that either,
I think it depends on who the superstar is.
Yeah.
Like if
I guess for some guys.
Yeah, if we're gonna go off of IRL, if Roman were to lose that Universal title, I can't see him ever holding the US or Intercontinental Championship again.
Yeah. But a guy like AJ Styles is a perfect example. I feel like that dude can be anywhere on the card and he's gonna make it look good and it's gonna feel even more important.
I feel like actually there are a lot of stars like that. Like Rollins, I think could. Daniel Bryan could.
Yeah. There is a few guys like that, but
like Brock obviously wouldn't hold a mid-card title.
Yeah,
but like the way you build up a mid-card title is to have someone important hold it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because what makes that belt prestigious is this important wrestler's desire of the belt.
That's literally how I booked AJ. Like as soon as AJ won that belt, I had him cut a promo simply saying, I'm going to be the workhorse here. Whoever wants the title, come get it. I'm going to hold this title. Like, I'm going to make this title as prestigious as it once was.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted to, I wanted to put AJ Styles as a face. He can turn heel eventually. I'm not saying he's going to or anything.
Yeah.
But if I want to give him a long-term face run, maybe there'll be a heel turn down the road. I don't know. It's freaking 2:00 on a Tuesday, so we'll decide that in the future. But AJ Styles is like my guy for that because I remember, if you remember, like WWE 2015, maybe 2016, when they gave Daniel Bryan the IC strap and John Cena the United States title. That's what they were trying to do with their mid card. They were trying to make the mid card titles more prestigious and their mid card more important in general.
Yeah.
But that ended up failing with Daniel Bryan getting hurt and.
But the foundation of a good wrestling period is your mid card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you guys started your universe mode strong with Styles and Nakamura.
Yeah.
Like those are two superstars that
those were the real life champions at the time, though, Carson. Just so you know.
I know, but what I'm saying is like it was a good thing for them to even continue based off of IRL instead of going with, say, you do a 4-man tournament or something and then you choose a champ and it's some young guy. It's good to start with like similar how it was in real life, like you said, with Styles and Nakamura, and then it led to Ciampa getting the Intercontinental Championship, which then he held that for 280 days. So he really built up that prestigiousness of the belt by having it reign like that.
I mean, even Aleister Black, I feel like is probably the guy most known with the U.S. title in your universe mode. I mean, he held it for 168 days from SummerSlam to Mania, was never pinned, only has been pinned once in universe mode by Buddy Murphy. The Buddy Murphy reign might have been a little bit disappointing because it was only 28 days, but it was obviously to a higher arcing story at the end of it with Rollins.
Which is my favorite story we've ever told.
Yeah, the Messiah story is so far been incredible.
The crazy thing is it's not done.
Yeah.
It's really starting to ramp up again, in my opinion.
But who knows? It may conclude at Survivor Series.
Yeah, an important section happens at Survivor Series, and that's that's the thing you do at the end, right? You just tell a story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
we've gotten a lot more into actually going through and writing each segment for our show, writing scripts for everything, and I can already see we were here in the beginning. It's getting up here. The production, everything's just getting so much better week to week. I mean, the shows have gotten so much better in just such a short time. I'm very excited for the future on PTW.
Yeah.
I would be, man. You guys are getting done. You guys are coming over there. And, it's just a lot of times I say, if you you got to make it to that first WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That first WrestleMania is just gonna get a lot more views than anyone than you or anyone else would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some weird reason, I mean not weird, but WrestleMania draft videos and like the big four always do pretty well on YouTube, but WrestleMania especially. WrestleMania, Rumble, and then SummerSlam.
I feel like Survivor Series is like iffy. It either does really
Survivor
well.
Series, isn't it?
It's like I feel like Survivor Series is just because IRL it's kind of fallen off. It doesn't mean as much.
I feel like King of Ring even does better. Than Survivor Series, in my opinion.
Very well.
Which sucks because I love Survivor Series.
I do too. I think it's like awesome. Like when you, especially like it really depends on how you do it. You could either do like obviously the brand versus brand, or you could even just it's just like it's also a culmination of a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Did you guys do the traditional 4v4 in season 1?
Yeah, we did. I forget what we had off the top of my head as the main event. I think it was something to do with the Messiahs. But either way, that's the fun thing about the big four events is you're going to get a higher view count on them. But then there's episodes where you get a high view count that just surprise you. I think Bad Blood's already done better than our SummerSlam, which shocked me.
Yeah.
It's like it shocked everyone else. Just like it shocked me just how well that pay-per-view went over.
Yeah, that pay-per-view, I watched that pay-per-view. That was one of my very first one. That was my first one I could actually sit all the way through with you guys. It was a fun time. The premieres were fun. You guys definitely get in their premieres. It was a good time. A lot of shock value in that pay-per-view. I'm still waiting for the freaking tier list of the pay-per-views. I've been wanting it from you guys, but
probably come with our end of year special this year. That's not going to be like a universe event. There's not going to be any like show about it, but our end of year special, Xander and I are discussing like a voting system, so you guys can vote for your favorite things. We can give awards, so,
like a Slammies almost.
Yeah, like so that's like best pay per view, best takeover, best male talent, best female talent.
Mm-hmm. We have plans for that as well. I don't know if we're going to do it at the end of the season or at the technical end of the year in December, because that would be coming up. We'd only have like really three months of film out at that point. Like we're just coming up on our first big 4 pay-per-view. So like No Mercy. I mean, obviously our audience has grown a lot more. I think at No Mercy, I only had like 50 some subs. Now GREGTREE'S came along. We have tripled that. We're at 170. The channel's still growing nicely. I'm very happy with it. But like No Mercy hit the 300 threshold, but it's Halloween Havoc came out on May 17th, 1 week ago, and it's at 378. It just keeps growing, and it's amazing to see. It was a lot of hard work put into it. I mean, it was our first exclusive pay-per-view by GREGTREE, and it's gotten the results we wanted, man.
Yeah, it's great, guys. Like booking pay-per-view is hard.
Yeah.
And then you go crazy with it. There's times where Xander is like wrote up full pay-per-view cards without me, and I'm like, Xander, we're supposed to be co-writing this. You can't just send me a whole card.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
I mean, I would like our writing process is a little bit more like 90-10 on both shows.
Yeah.
Overarching views, we bounce back on each other a lot, but the week-to-week stuff is just like, hey, what do you think of this? We give our opinion, and then we'll be like, oh, you can do this to make it that much better and stuff like that.
Well, what shocks me a lot of times is like just how well our universe mode works for how different Xander and I like our wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's not always a bad thing, because that then in return gives all the shows a separate feel. Is always a good thing, because you don't want, okay, Raw and SmackDown are the exact same, just a different arena. NXT is the exact same, just a different color arena. Like, you want a different show. Like, that's where we really went. I wanted like my show to be the in-ring show, a lot of highlight reel, a lot of wrestling, longer matches. That's what I was going for. My at least my show end of the things.
Best wrestling brand in the business.
That's it. And NXT I envisioned as NXT I envisioned as this more sports oriented wrestling show.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was, here's the ring stuff. I'm a big fan of old school wrestling. That's something we don't talk about a lot. I'm a big fan. of old school wrestling. I'm not talking old school WWF either. I'm talking old school Mid South, old school NWA, just stuff like that. And so I get a lot of inspiration from that. Raw is, to me, sometimes not a wrestling show. I don't want to call it not a wrestling show because it's a wrestling show. It's a sports. It has more sports entertainment in it.
Yeah,
I think it's fair statement to say it's a more sports entertainment show. Where there's nothing wrong with sports entertainment, but it's like it's a more theatrical version of pro wrestling, which I'm kind of surprised that it kind of worked out that way because I prefer this very almost old school style because I have a very theatrical background. But then you have SmackDown, which is almost like a happy medium because Xander and I write that show together. And I would say SmackDown is probably the best brand.
Which is a good thing. I mean, it has them. I mean, obviously the World Heavyweight title was on Raw in the beginning, but I mean, the World Heavyweight title has pretty much been the most prestigious title on the main roster. I mean, obviously, I feel like the NXT title and the World Heavyweight title are neck and neck.
Thank you.
There's been some guys, I mean, obviously both holding Adam Cole. Let's see how Adam Cole's reign goes. Xander hinted at him losing at Survivor Series, but my personal predictions, I don't think that'll be happening just from my writing prowess. But, I mean, like Seth Rollins, I mean, I remember watching you guys' tier list. I actually rewatched that recently, and you said, like, Rollins, you guys both agreed he didn't have the best reign because of opponents. Like, he faced Andrade. I'm not sure remember quite who else. I know he faced Drew McIntyre too. But then Drew got the belt, and I feel like he had a pretty good reign, 224 days, held it from SummerSlam to Backlash. That means he retained at Mania. So he entered season 2 as champion. He beat John Cena. And then Tommaso Ciampa had a very fun time with that World Heavyweight title and only lost it off a cash-in. Like, he retained it in a Hell in a Cell match between Randy Orton and Johnny Gargano just to get cashed in on.
Yeah, and Tommaso Ciampa is someone who he's definitely not a good guy, but I definitely couldn't call him a heel right now.
Yeah, he's kind of like an anti-hero almost. Like, he's got that Stone Cold vibe where to like with your eyes audience at this point, like anything he does, they're cheering.
A correctly booked Tommaso Ciampa to me is the next Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
And they've been waiting for a guy to get us over Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because like it's, to me, it's genuinely shocking. Right? Like if you guys watch modern day WWE with the crowd, if there's a crowd there, they can have guys who are over come out and they'll get cheered.
Yeah.
I swear to God, the audience screeches 4 to 5 times louder if Stone Cold shows up.
Absolutely. I mean, Stone Cold is probably the most over wrestler ever. Like, I feel like that's pretty safe to say. Like, I don't think there's anybody who dislikes Stone Cold.
There was a time when Hogan was, and then everything happened with him,
and he's a piece of shit. I mean, sorry, Hulk Hogan, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to make the podcast dark, but at the same time,
dark side of the ring.
I didn't know Saints.
Yeah. No.
Like with some of the things is like Hart Williams have accused him of doing, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But he's still eternally over, right? So
I'd say like him, Undertaker, when his bell would hit, the place would erupt.
The Undertaker is pretty over guy too.
Or when if you smell when that comes over the arena, it's
crazy. Because we didn't really get The Rock's full career, because obviously he wasn't a wrestler after a certain point. He went to the Hollywood and was very, very successful. I'm sure he would do that 100,000 times over again. Yeah. But, I mean, just imagine if Rocky stayed, how big of a career he could have had.
Yeah, and I think that's what honestly kind of threw them off, because if you look at The Rock, even when he left, he was still young in his career.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Lesnar kind of hurt them too. Like Brock just lost his passion for wrestling.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had either just hit or was about to hit 10 years in the business. And like that sounds like a long time, but that's really not.
No, it's not really comparable wrestling because most of the guys, like, they don't really get to that. I mean, definitely back in the older days, but they don't really get to that WWE if you come up through the indies till you're almost in your early 30s.
Yeah.
Which is a weird, like, other sports, like when you're like 32, you're winding down your career. And wrestling, that's really when your career most of the time really gets going for you.
Yeah. And like it's a very odd thing to observe. And also like I think John Cena's original heat with The Rock came from the fact that The Rock left. Like he's admitted this himself. The Rock left, put the company in a very bad spot, and then they were kind of in a weird place booking wise. Like who was the face of WWE from like 2003 to 2005?
Yeah, they tried making Brock that, and then Brock left too.
Yeah,
and then there was a Triple H show. It was literally Triple H between him, and then didn't Shawn come back in like 2004?
Yeah.
No, Shawn came back I think in 03. 03 or 02.
02. SummerSlam 02.
Yeah. Yeah, with SummerSlam 02, that was the chamber match, right? The first one.
Yeah.
And then
Survivor Series 02.
Oh yeah.
At the same time, like when I say that, like I know we were talking about Survivor Series earlier. That's a great idea for a Survivor Series. Why make
exactly.
Why not Elimination Chamber its own pay-per-view? Why not just have it at Survivor Series?
We talked about potentially, if it's in the game for 2K20, we want to do war games, like a 4v4 for Survivor Series. Or like
instead
a 4v4
of the traditional tag match.
It'd be a 4v4 like war games match. But yeah, I feel like Survivor Series an Elimination Chamber would be great. If they were to adapt it where you could do a 4v4, where you could even put like if you added
I just feel like get rid of the 4v4 idea. I feel like just have the Elimination Chamber be at Survivor Series every year. Give Survivor Series a reason. I mean, you obviously have Royal Rumble. WrestleMania is where most payoffs happen. So SummerSlam is where the payoffs from Mania end up happening. And the Survivor Series give Survivor Series a reason.
Yeah.
Because Survivor Series is hit and miss every year. They sometimes do brand versus brand. They sometimes don't do brand versus brand. Yeah, it's just Survivor Series would make a lot more sense to have the Elimination Chamber. It just would.
Like, I do have to admit, the 2019 Survivor Series is very good. I liked how they included NXT. I like how there was like the build-up for it. There was like NXT was invading SmackDown, and they do the same thing on Raw. I think it was cool because it felt very competitive.
Yeah. My main problem with that, and this is like, Xander and I haven't ruled out doing a brand versus brand Survivor Series, but it feels so in a tangent, right? So like, it feels like, okay, we're doing this, and we're going to do this for a month and a half max. And the night after the storyline ends, there's going to be no repercussions for it. We're just going to go back to the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So Raw and SmackDown were at war. They were bitter enemies for one night, and then the next night, oh, nothing happened. We're going back to our storylines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, that's not how I like to book wrestling.
Yeah.
So I guess we probably should get into really reviewing NXT TakeOver London.
Yeah.
We're about almost 40 minutes in now and haven't really discussed it quite yet.
Well,
we started with it.
40, so I suppose we have time. We're good.
Yeah. I mean, we're good to go as long as you are.
I'm good to go.
I would say something I was actually going to ask. I don't like when pay-per-views end. Like I understand when they end a feud, but I don't understand when there's never like repercussions of that feud. So it's like I know a lot of people aren't happy IRL right now with the Cesaro Seth thing, with Seth coming back again. But it's like, did you really think that they were just going to end that on like one SmackDown? They were just going to fight once and it'd be over. It's like they're obviously still like, I like how they're still treating them as enemies.
Yeah,
it wasn't just like they fought once, the fight's over. They're not enemies anymore. They're just mutuals.
I don't think they needed Seth to attack.
They didn't need him to attack
Cesaro after that match, though.
I just wish it would have ended with him staring, him and Roman just staring at each other, and then the little trademark pops up, and then it cuts there.
Like Jay came out, what didn't really make much sense, and then Rollins came out, what didn't make too much sense either.
I mean, I think the only reason Jay came out is because he wasn't allowed at ringside. He came out and put the like tribal chief thing on Roman after winning, and then like held Roman's hand up. And then, like, if Seth should have came out, it should have been a stare down Roman. He shouldn't have been going after Cesaro. But that's just my personal opinion.
It's a very odd ending. Seems like extending the feud.
Yeah.
It's a very odd thing to try to get around, but at the same time, Zan, I think it's what you're getting at, Greg. That Zan and I, we try to book for consequence.
Yeah.
Which to me that's very important.
Especially when it comes to you guys and having the NXT brand. If there's a feud in NXT and then one of the guys gets called up and then featured on the line, the other guy gets called up and they meet again on the main roster, they have that history. And it's not like it's like something new. It's like they were enemies before and they're still enemies now.
Yeah. Yeah, I read what comment was. There was a comment though at one point that if Pete Dunne, I'm not saying it's happening or it's not happening, but if Pete Dunne lost the title to Walter, that Dunne was going to get called up and he was going to be the one to take the belt from Cole.
My question is, how does that work with call-ups? Because you guys treat NXT as a third brand, right?
Yeah, we treat it as like a move type thing. We still kind of do have call-ups, but oftentimes I'll get someone in return.
Yeah, that was my next question. Would you get somebody in return then?
Yeah, a lot of times I do. But here's the thing, you don't realize it because I wait a while to use them. I wait a while to use a lot of guys. I almost book every debut individually. I never double book a debut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, we're going to debut this guy, then we're going to debut this guy, then we're going to debut this guy.
Yeah. Because it's like you don't want to debut a show or book a show or you have two debuts the same night because then it could take the spotlight away from one of them.
Yeah.
Like, sorry. Oh, me and Greg Tree, we've had quite a few trades, and I think most of the guys, I've gotten quite a few guys back, and I haven't really debuted them. They've been hinted at, but they haven't been debuted at all. And I'm waiting for a bigger point to debut them to make that feel a little bit more important.
As far as trades go, I think the only guy debuted from our trade was Tommaso Ciampa. And until my most recent episode of Raw that's coming out, well, that came out last Monday at the time this is uploaded. But at the time of recording, I finished it today, which is, no, he didn't even debut. Who was it? Oh, it was Big E.
So what we heard from TakeOver London, we kind of touched on Walter Dunn. We touched on the Cruiserweight title match. And do you want to talk about other stuff from that show? I know that's like the two big things from the show.
Dolph Ziggler lost again.
He was debuting Ilya Dragunov.
So I mean, he's only what? I think these are updated, but he's 5-6 right now in season 2.
That link, Carson?
Season 1, yes. In season 1, Dolph Ziggler was 2-21.
Yeah.
I treated him nominally better.
Yes, you've done a much better job. Ray shall save you.
But here's the thing: there is a long-term plan with Dolph Ziggler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, I like the modded version you guys have a lot. I like his hair down. It looks very clean. I like a lot. I like a lot better than the ponytail one they have in the game.
Yeah.
But not random, but like Dolph Ziggler's my guy. I love Ziggler. My original universe mode, he was supposed to be world champion if it would have kept going. My
original card for TakeOver London, Ziggler was facing Dunn in the main event.
Really? I'd like to hear those. I can't wait to see Walter and Ziggler eventually, hopefully.
He's like, hopefully, maybe sometime.
Maybe.
Do you think though we'll ever? I mean, you guys are only in season 2. I obviously know you guys don't plan on this ending anytime soon with this whole. Do we think we'll ever see like a guy? I don't know. A WW guy, like not NXT wise, like maybe like a Randy Orton holding like the NXT title, or a guy like not obviously Orton, but like if that makes sense, like someone like him.
Well, if you remember, I do have a few guys from WWE, like from the main roster, on NXT already.
Yeah, I know one who I'd really like to see hold the
That's
NXT
Styles.
title.
Who?
AJ Styles.
That's the one everyone says.
He's like, that's what everyone says.
But Ray's not going to give it to us. Ray's going to make us fucking wait for that shit. He's going to make us wait.
Most definitely.
Oh, mate.
But yeah, I mean, you're like your roster. You got some other guys that are capable of holding, like you saw Priest. You have someone like Bronson Reed, who's obviously gaining a lot of momentum right now. Like IRL with him just beating Gargano. So like it's just guys like that. I mean, you even have like Chad Gable. Chad Gable, he's not really used.
Someone who I'm like really looking at pushing right now.
Would you ever see Apollo Crews on NXT? I would love to see what you could do with him.
Possibly. One thing I say is there was a plan with him too, though.
Yeah, because I know he's a big fan favorite in the community. I don't know how, like, again, I don't know how much you pay attention to other universe modes, but there are a lot of people have like their signature guys. Like I would say Tommaso Ciampa is your guys's. Merce is Apollo Crews. I mean, Apollo Crews is a former world champion, spot to main event WrestleMania for the second time. He's like Murph's guy.
Yeah, I try to keep up with other universes. But I know you guys can't identify with this. When you write a universe, it's hard to keep up with others. Like, what universes most do you spend your time watching? I spend my time writing one.
Yeah. I catch Murph's just because I take like that guy's. His is better than. I wouldn't say I watch every episode, but I try to keep up with it.
Yeah.
Especially now, it's Mania season. Like his WrestleMania will be coming out within the next 2 to 3 months, probably.
Yeah. I typically try to keep up with your guys's too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. But yeah. Well, like back to Ziggler, Xander actually kind of made me a little bit frustrated with it because so the big qualifying match was Priest versus Ziggler, and the winner got Dragon off a takeover.
Yeah.
And I intended that match to be a good match. I didn't intend him to do a 17-minute Broadway between Priest and Ziggler.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, Ziggler has this amazing match with Priest on NXT. Everyone's talking about it, and now people kind of want Ziggler to win.
Now they're like, oh, Ziggler's fighting debuting superstar. Kill him. Kill him now.
Yeah. But Priest looked good. Dragunov looked good. I love Ilya Dragunov. I've been no secret of my love for Ilya Dragunov.
He's on UK, right? Like IRL. He's on NXT UK.
NXT UK, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Dragunov's also like so originally when in your Discord when the card was announced, I remember Adam and I were like Ilya Dragunov, like we didn't really know his work. We probably spent the next 20 minutes just watching highlights from his matches.
Because I don't pay much attention to UK outside of Walter.
His moveset and abilities for his size, he's really good in the ring.
Yeah, he's very good. And like I loved his look. I also like guys whose whole character is they're so vicious that they don't care if you beat the shit out of them. Yeah.
And also, I think that's one of the reasons I like Ciampa. Ciampa's willing to put a match aside and not win the match if he can brutalize his opponent.
Yeah. This is like a guy who comes out looking like Terry Funk, who you beat the shit out of, but he just keeps coming. It's someone who I just love that. I just love it in a match when you see guys get cracked over the stomach, or I don't want to say the heck because that's brutal. Like a kendo stick, and they just kind of look at you. It's like it didn't affect them.
Yeah.
Or if it did, it's more like excited by it. Like how I did it on commentary, where I don't if you guys remember NXT Halloween Havoc that we did a few weeks back.
Uh-huh.
The main event between Connors and Hendry, I said on commentary, Hendry hits this big DDT, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, the match is over. 1, 2, kick out. Right? And I said on commentary, I think I just heard Connors laughing. Whereas, like, he's just pleased that he gets to hurt Joe Hendry more.
Yeah.
Which I like that. I like that in a character. I don't know. I like.
Yeah, you like the psycho side of a character who's like not afraid to injure their opponent while winning a match. Like they want to win at all costs. They're willing to go the extra mile.
Yeah, and Dragunov is special because all those other guys on this list, and the guys you listed, they have like this weird hard. They have like a hard edged look to them, and Dragunov does not. Dragunov's a very clean cut looking guy.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to see how he wrestles.
Like if you saw him walking around the street in like a suit and tie, you wouldn't think second he's a businessman. If you see like Tommaso Ciampa with that intimidating ass beard and like a shaved head, you'd be like, oh, I don't want
Santa Claus.
I don't want to mess with him.
No, but like I'm just like checking out some of your like win-loss records and like, I mean Pete Dunne. I mean that guy has just had a very impressive run. I'm excited to see what's next for Dunn. I mean, he's 24-5. He's only lost twice in this past season, once to Walter. He's had a nice run as champion. I mean, your NXT title has really been untouchable, if we're being honest. Like, there's only been 3 holders.
Yeah. And like, thanks for saying that. It's something that I did very intentionally. I don't think the world championship should change much at all. I think other titles can change more often. I think if you start changing the world title a lot, it doesn't really hold the prestige of a world title.
Yeah. I kind of screwed Greg Tree on that one in the beginning of Universe Mode.
What did you do?
Well, Drew McIntyre was world champion for a big whopping 14 days. He lost in an open challenge to Sami Zayn, where Sami Zayn accidentally won. He was not supposed to win. Drew McIntyre was supposed to kick out. And I left it because I wasn't thinking really longevity-wise in the moment when I edited the video. And then Sami Zayn then loses the belt to Kevin Owens 20 days later. So we are 2 months in, and Kevin Owens, we have had 3 WWE champions. That's on me. That is on me.
So originally, he had his own universe mode. I had my own, and I dropped mine and stopped doing it after my King of the Ring pay-per-view, and then I joined him and took over Raw side, and we had the draft, and of course, champions stayed. So they were based off champions in real life, so that's why like McIntyre was the champ. That's why Bobby Lashley is the U.S. champion. That's why the Hurt Business were the tag team champions because of when it was started. And so McIntyre lost to Zayn on a roll-up, which he said he was supposed to kick out on, and then come no mercy, Sami Zayn got brutalized by Kevin Owens and powerbombed off the trailer, and he lost the championship that way. So then Owens is the reigning champ, and he obviously retained at Havoc, and yeah,
he's the longest reigning champion already, and I don't think Kevin Owens is going to lose the belt for a long time, so I think it'll fix a lot of things, a lot of those problems.
Well, that's hot-shotting. Hot-shotting's fine. I just don't make a habit of it.
Yeah. Like if you... I understand what you mean, like hot shotting where it's like the reigns change hands very, very rapidly compared to like if like 3 people have reigns of like 60 days. It's so symmetrical and they are a bit longer that it's not, I guess it's not stale, but it's like it doesn't seem as prestigious. Like, because I really like, and I was gonna ask you this, what the most prestigious title you think in the entirety of your universe mode is?
That's an interesting question. The World Heavyweight Championship, followed by the NXT Championship.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the long reigns with the World Heavyweight, I think also the belt just looks very prestigious.
Yeah. Which I kind of like that the NXT title has an element of the World Championship in it.
Yeah. With, like, yeah. I agree with that. What do you think is your most prestigious women's championship?
NXT Women's Championship.
NXT takeover.
I feel like you guys have just been cucked with the WWE title, though, too. I mean, like, you had the EC3 incident.
Yeah.
I doubt you have him cashing on Daniel Bryan like that. If you know he's going to be released, I'm assuming he probably would have lost the briefcase. So, I mean, you had back-to-back 28-day reigns.
Yeah.
You haven't had really a super long WWE Championship reign. I mean, Finn Balor has been your longest with 140, but I still feel like the title's had some pretty good holders.
Oh yeah, the title's had fine holders. I'm just like, I'm not saying it's a bad title either. I'm just saying that if you want to rate the level of prestigiousness among them, I would say WWE title probably ranks at the bottom of the
world
title.
titles. Yeah.
So obviously it's like 1A World Heavyweight, 1B NXT, and then WWE 2.
Yeah.
And that's just you've had bad luck with the WWE title. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really have had bad luck
So,
with that.
Are you able to?
I mean,
mix
there's
it-
been 7 holders of the WWE title, 4 of the World Heavyweight title, and only 3 NXT champions. So like,
and the World Heavyweight NXT they just happened.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's nothing wrong with the WWE title. It just has had bad luck and just more holders, so it makes this a little bit less prestigious, but still,
Yeah.
it's still the WWE fucking title. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
So
That
are you?
belt would make so much more if it was the Winged Eagle belt.
I do like the new design a lot though.
I would like it a lot. I just don't like every other title looks like it.
Yeah. If they made if they did this, like what you guys do, like WWE World Heavyweight, and then made their women's titles look different, then I think it would work very well because it would feel prestigious. But the fact that women's titles look the exact same, especially
I feel like
with IRL, the
we
fact
should
that
be getting a
Universal
new
looks
world
the exact
title
same.
here soon, though. We've
Yeah.
had this WWE title for a while, but then again, if you change the WWE title, you got to change the Universal. So I mean,
Or you keep the Universal.
I guess you could.
I don't know.
What would you say is your most prestigious mid card title?
Must be mid-card title. Probably the Intercontinental Championship.
That's how it should be, though.
That Tommaso Reign Ciampa or Tommaso Ciampa Reign. Sorry.
And I know this is coming up, and because we keep cycling back to Takeover, which is why is Karrion Kross the NXT North American champion?
So what made you decide to give him the North American Championship?
I know the story.
What do you think the story is?
Just a little bit of rushing around.
Actually, no. It wasn't. I really don't care what that guy says. I don't. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I'm not a big Karrion Kross fan at the end of the day.
I like him a lot. Xander likes him a lot. But we want to give him an NXT run, and I figured, okay, Kross, when he comes in, he looks like a main event star, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's huge, up to the moon, jacked, has that intimidating look, right? And so I was sitting here, I was like, okay, what's my least prestigious title in NXT? The NXT North American Championship, in my opinion, is my least prestigious title. And that's just because there's been so many people who held it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's been 6, if I'm remembering correctly.
5.
You got 5 right now.
Yeah.
5. Okay. Right. Anyway, so it's the belt that changed him the most season 1. So I figured I'm going to put it on a monster. I'm going to put it on this monster, and I'm going to have him make the belt so important that someone.
Hi.
Wow,
Welcome.
this guy.
So I actually wasn't meaning to be here.
No,
Why
I'll
are
let
you
you hear.
putting in on my interview, man?
So I'm about to sit down to record my How Xander Would Book Sami Zayn video, and I clicked enter on the wrong studio. So I'm gonna go now. But
Wait,
like,
Xander, we just want your opinion real quick.
okay, what's up?
What's the most prestigious title, World Heavyweight or NXT?
World Heavyweight. I stand by it.
Okay, that's all we needed.
Okay, have fun, boys.
Watch that 30s.
All right.
What a perfect time for him to jump in. All right.
Okay. So
I was confused why you paused. I thought you accidentally were about to say a spoiler and you were thinking about it, but then I realized you could see him enter.
yeah, and I was just like,
You're like, I'm gonna stop real quick.
so if you remember correctly, Timothy Thatcher winning the best of 5 gave him a shot at any title he wanted in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that he would forego the opportunity for the NXT Championship to face for the NXT North American Championship because he feels like that belt is prestigious enough was an element of that match. Also, Thatcher and Cross was just a match I wanted to book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's
I
two of those guys like we talked about earlier.
I very well could see
Too
Cross
great.
hold that belt till Takeover X, if not longer.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel like Takeover X would probably be
Okay, I was just gonna say this because I've told Xander this too. It's Takeover 10.
my bad. Oh yeah, I
don't
No,
call it
Roman numerals.
Takeover X.
sorry.
Because to me that sounds very douchey.
Takeover 10, my bad. But it'll be
With-
your 10th Takeover. What's
yeah,
Wild.
that event. I'm kind of like starting to think about the arena design since I do design some of the arenas for Takeover. I designed the arena for the London Takeover.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that whole set will be a tribute to WrestleMania 10.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool, actually.
Yeah. Because I love WrestleMania 10. But anyway, so to get back on track after after Xander decided to give us his
Jump on in.
drop on in. So yeah, that's why I did it. Carrying Cross to me can help build the title. It's something prestigious. And I knew I wanted to at least switch the belt once between now and TakeOver 10. So yeah.
Okay.
And then we have, I think, the last match we have yet to talk about. Well, no, we have two others.
We have the tag match.
Yep, and then
Amber
we have,
Moon.
we have Tegan Knox beating Ember Moon.
That
I
didn't
took
expect.
Amber Moon, and
I took
I
Amber
believe
Moon
I
as
took
well.
Amber Moon.
Yeah.
I only got one prediction right.
I think I only got 2 wrong, and I think it was the Ember Moon.
But you're right behind Rushing right now.
Yeah,
Yes,
he is.
sir.
I am at the very bottom.
Well, you also didn't predict like the first 3 pay-per-views. You might be able to catch up though.
Yeah.
Depending
They'll put
on
up
how Survivor
1-point
Series goes.
performances.
Okay, well, I didn't think Dunn was going to lose. Because before doing that, I went to the rosters like, okay, Dunn's been champ. Like I thought he was going to hold it until 10. I thought he was going to hold it until TakeOver 10.
I thought he was going to lose it here because he hadn't beaten Walter yet, and it was in London. So I thought this was going to be the place Walter won it.
Yeah. So, like, the fun thing about, like, this whole thing was, at that point, I waited. I had waited until everyone knew me as the long title reign guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I flipped the script. So, everyone would think, oh, of course Ember Moon's going to keep the title. She just practically won the thing. At least in Ray's long-term booking mind.
Yeah, because you started with Baszler with 98, then Rhea was on 196, 140 for Candice LeRae. So everyone probably thought that Ember was at least going to break the 100 barrier.
Yeah, and then I put in Tegan, and I love Tegan Knox to Star, and I look for individuals as champion. It doesn't quite look like I'm cashing in on success. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, but and also I like the idea of the babyface pop of winning the title in London, because everything else can be viewed as kind of a downer because Pete Dunne's also English, so that can be seen as kind of a downer. You had Mustache Mountain, who didn't win the belts over the Hart Dynasty, and then you had everything else kind of a different kind of feast. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get like a big babyface win here to Tegan Knox to kick off the show.
Good, it worked.
Yeah, and also that lets you know that this is a different takeover. Things can change at this takeover. I think this takeover to me changed a lot more than any other takeover.
In this past, I don't know if it was technically in the same month. Bad Blood at the end of October, so yeah. London was in November. But in like the past, I guess 4 weeks in your universe mode, you've had a lot of title changes. Yeah, which is crazy to think about. You had 2 on your NXT takeover. You had 7 or 6 or 7, right, on Bad Blood.
I think there was 6.
Matt, we had 3 on takeover.
3. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the cruiserweight title. Yep. And then, so that's a lot. Almost every title in your universe mode recently has changed hands. So I guess this is almost a new era in LS11.
Yeah, it is distinctly, and I think the next takeover the card that I have planned will show that that new kind of side that I've brought to NXT.
I mean, this will be a weird point too for you because this is gonna be the first time Pete Dunne or Adam Cole really hasn't been the face of your NXT brand.
Yeah, and when I tell you what's gonna happen on this upcoming episode, you're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. So
yeah, let's dive straight into that.
Actually, real quick before that, I do have one quick question. One more thing about championships. What made you decide to retire the UK championship?
Too many titles in the brand.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because the UK could almost be treated like a world championships. And you obviously probably didn't want two world championships or two championships that are similar in world championship slots on one show.
Well, at that point, the title becomes quadriary.
Yeah.
Which, it's not like it's weird because, you have the main title, which is the NXT Championship. Then you have a secondary title, which is the NXT North American Championship. Then you have a tertiary title in the Cruiserweight Championship. So, you don't want a fourth title because that just makes things complicated.
Yeah.
And also, it makes belts seem really not that important.
Yeah.
I think the way mine is set up, it's obviously Universal World, Intercontinental title. I want it to be that upper mid card title, and then I made the European to be a lower mid card lower card title to really you literally have to climb the ladder. European IC World Champion, if that makes sense.
Yeah. See, the fun thing about my universe and the fun thing about NXT is so many guys meet the cruiserweight limit that the cruiserweight title can function as a tertiary title.
Yeah.
Not everyone, honestly, but So, do you want me to dive straight into this upcoming episode of NXT, or do you want
dive straight into it?
Yeah.
Or do you want to talk about tag team titles?
Oh, we could talk about the tag team titles. What was the thought about bringing back the Hart Dynasty?
So, I've been watching them, old footage of them, and I really enjoy what I saw. And I was looking for a team that just had a mean streak to them that wasn't like Imperium. I was looking for something a little bit more revival-esque in Champions. And I saw something very similar in the Hart Dynasty, right? And also, I just love the way the Harts wrestle. I'm a big Hart mark. So, and the way those guys wrestle, because everything is so snug. I just like the look of it.
Yeah.
Everything is so, tight without looking stiff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I saw the way it happens. And so I thought, okay, bring back those guys. Because, one, it kind of works for the NXT show, but I don't think anyone would guess it.
Yeah. When I first saw the match card, I'm like, the Hart Dynasty, I was like, wow. I was like, I don't know. It was interesting because I'm like, it's unique. I've never seen someone else first of all use the Hart Dynasty again, because they're technically released, or at least they have been. And also, I think it's interesting because Tyson Kidd's career was kind of cut short with his injuries, so it's nice to see him back and doing something, and he's working with the Hart Dynasty again.
Yeah. So yeah, and also I wanted that little bit of disappointment for the UK fans, because the UK fans can be pretty much happy about the show, but the fact that these Mustache Mountains, I think, third opportunity to win the belt, and they haven't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah.
Tyler Bate is lost almost at every turn.
Huh?
Tyler Bate has had a tough run.
He keeps hitting the ceiling, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's like he wins a couple, then loses a couple. It's like he's
he can't win the big one, man.
19.
It's a very it's a very methodically based thing, and there is a natural progression to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want me to get into this episode of NXT?
Absolutely, sir.
Pete Dunne walks down and he cuts a promo about how he's going to do whatever it takes to get to the title again. He is still the face of NXT. Damn it! I'm going to take the world title. I'm going to take the North American title if I have to. If I have to, I'll take the Cruiserweight Championship. I am still the face of Pete. I'm still the face of NXT. I am Pete Dunne. I am standing here right now. And then Timothy Thatcher attacks him.
Ooh.
Timothy Thatcher attacks Pete Dunne and pile drives him on a chair, injuring him for the foreseeable future.
That's going to be controversial with people because he basically came out and said, "I am NXT," and then now he's not going to be on air because he's injured. Well, at least he's not going to be wrestling because he's injured.
He's gonna make a Rumble appearance and win the Rumble and face Adam Cole at Mania.
And Timothy Thatcher was immediately suspended by William Regal.
Oh,
Just taking two guys right off air, right off the rip of the episode. They're like, yeah, two guys you guys like a lot won't be on air anymore.
No, but I took them off very purposefully.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously. There's probably a very well thought out story behind it that'll have a good payoff.
Yeah, and it gives other guys a chance to shine on NXT.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also on the same episode, guess who comes back?
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
Ooh.
And his new segment will be the Phenomenal Open Challenge. Every single week for the next few weeks, AJ Styles will cut an open challenge and have a kind of a Broadway match with a wrestler from the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
AJ Styles gonna be winning a lot.
And you want to guess who answers the challenge?
Even Ian was. I can't say his name. Dragunov.
Nope. Haley Dragunov.
You said it from the back of the card. Is it Gable?
Nope.
Ooh. Is it Santos Escobar?
No.
Who is it?
Tyler Bate.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I like that. Tyler Bate, a little singles action.
Yeah. I've had Tyler Bate jump between singles and tag action. So, yeah. Styles
That
goes
works
over.
though. What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Styles goes over, though.
Okay.
I figured
Poor
he
Tyler
would
Bate. Yeah.
to keep the open challenge going.
Yeah.
Which,
Okay. I
so
like
don't
that though.
think a lot of
Phenomenal
people
challenge.
see this coming.
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's a very odd nut of an episode, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like but I like it because it does feel like an episode after a pay-per-view. Like it's very action packed. It's very like it's full of surprises.
Yeah. And and also I was
I'll be
like,
back in 1 second.
Okay.
All right, guess we'll just continue. going.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll be right back in like 3 seconds. I gotta run and do something.
So
Right.
I've relied on Pete Dunne a lot, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So it was like, I'll write him off. I'll write him off for a while.
For now.
Obviously, he can come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But yeah, you obviously want to have one of those things where it's like, say he gets injured, you write him off, and it's almost one of those things people kind of forget about him. They kind of forget that he was injured, and then he comes back. You're like, holy shit, I forgot about him.
yeah.
And then it's one of those big, which is incredibly smart.
Yeah. I don't see people forgetting Pete Dunne, though. I think
No,
he became very popular very quickly.
no, I think he people won't forget, but it's probably similar to like the IRL Roman thing when Roman went away because of COVID, and then he obviously ended up coming back when he was cleared, and then like people didn't forget about him, but they're like, oh, I didn't think it would happen now,
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Yeah. And also it just kind of leaves the question open of, oh, so who's gonna face Walter?
Yeah, because Dunn's not there.
Dunne's
Also,
not there.
it also leaves the question: are you gonna bring Dunn? Actually, you probably can't even answer it. I was gonna say, are you gonna bring Dunn back a face, or is he gonna be a heel?
Who knows, mate?
I know. I was like, I really.
didn't say I'm gonna bring him back a face because he's been a face.
Yeah. I just didn't know if that injury maybe would like flip something in his brain, like a switch would flip, and he would just become a complete psycho.
Yeah.
Or-
With what I have planned, I don't think that works right now. Also, to me, it lends to Thatcher's more of a transition into the main event scene, which is where I always envisioned Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah.
I love Timothy Thatcher. He reminds me of Dan Severn, like a more lean Dan the Beast Severn.
Okay. Yeah, I see that actually.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I just like that idea. I like that. I love Timothy Thatcher.
And I like that. I like how you said like the transition from him going to the main event, basically like main event picture, because he's taking out someone who's just in the main event picture. So he's like almost kind of taking his place, or at least could be taking his place.
in him getting banned, it's also like, oh, this dude, he's
Yeah.
crazy. He breaks the rules. He's a dangerous individual.
Yeah.
If you see him around the NXT arena, call the police. Don't go near him. He's not safe.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. Which I wish we could do more stuff like that.
I know it sucks these games are so limiting because like if we were able to do certain things, I feel like the storylines would be so heightened.
Yeah. Like one of the most difficult things technical wise was the Firefly Funhouses we did in season 1.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But we needed them to properly do the Fiend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys can get the proof I do the voice. Yowie wowie. So.
I mean, we have not done any Fiend stuff. I don't think Fiend will be around at least till next game, if at all.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because I know he's on your brand, right?
Bray Wyatt, I technically have Bray Wyatt, yeah.
Yeah, and with you being on 19 on the Xbox, it's tough.
Right now we're doing like a retread of Bray Wyatt's cult character.
Yeah, I don't know I can't really say what I have planned for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
It would spoil some things, but
what
he will not be the Fiend.
I think pretty soon I'm going to be doing some more Bray Wyatt promos. Because I do voice Bray Wyatt. And so I've been kind of like looking at different things, like get inspiration for the voices.
Yeah.
And one thing I found that often helps is a show called True Detective. It was on HBO. And there's this character called Rustin Cole. And he's played by Matthew McConaughey.
Oh.
And it's a very different Matthew McConaughey role. He says he's spiritually a pessimist. Which means he's a nihilist. He believes in almost nothing.
Yeah.
And the way he talks is like they're like investigating this church service, and like the way he talks sounds like a Bray Wyatt promo to me.
Okay.
Where it's like, what is it? Oh yeah. What do you think the average IQ is among people who come here? Look at them. Propensity for obesity, believing in fairy tales, how to tell yourself stories to go to sleep at night. They're so frail they'd rather throw a coin into a well than pay for dinner.
It does not sound like a Bray Wyatt promo. It's
Yeah.
like it's like the very technical talking and like the amount of like, I guess not hints to what he's talking about, but like analogies that he uses.
Yeah. So I've been like kind of using that more. Also, that's just an amazing show. I love that show, but So yeah, that's what I've been working on lately with Bray Wyatt. So any more questions about universe?
Yeah, I actually had some more I was thinking about. So like we asked Xander this thing. Do you feel like there's a missed opportunity you've had with a superstar? Like if you could go back and rewrite something with somebody to really put him on a different projection, if that makes sense.
I like how this guy's story turned out, but I just wish I'd done more with him in NXT, or I wish I had more time with him in NXT. And that's Matt Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
I love Matt Riddle. And I like what we're doing with him now. But I wish I got a little bit more time to book him, since I only got to book him when it's Triple Threat. I didn't get to, really like stretch my legs with Matt Riddle before he was going up. Same with Keith Lee. Him too. I love Keith Lee. So
Xander took that one right from you.
Those are a few missed opportunities for me, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah.
Is there any like released guys you wish you would have got more time with?
There were so many people released. Well, like I said earlier, Mike Kanellis.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. I love how he wrestled, and his theme song was amazing.
It probably would have been better if they didn't make him take his wife's last name.
I like that too. I find that funny.
Really?
Yeah, I like that. It's funny.
One guy I really wish who wasn't released because I'm just such a big fan of him is Andrade. Like that's
Yeah.
my guy.
Yeah. At one point, we were going to move Andrade to NXT.
That's my absolute probably one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah.
He
His
would've been-
moveset is just so insane.
He would
I
have
was
been.
just thinking Omega, so.
Yeah. Could you say that he probably would have been the face of SmackDown?
Andrade.
He probably would have been the guy to take the belt off of AJ Styles. And he probably would have held that belt for the original plan was for AJ to lose at Mania to Andrade, like in my head at least. And then Andrade probably hold that belt for the foreseeable future, probably till the following Mania or right around then.
I think someone that I wish I would have had more time with is Velveteen Dream if he wouldn't have done those things. Because
Yeah.
he is incredibly skilled and really good on the mic. And then all that stuff came out and we just kind of said like don't use them.
Yeah.
Just
The other guy is Samoa Joe. I had a lot of plans for him. I wanted to do a lot of stuff with Joe, but his release happened.
I had big cruiserweight plans for Jordan Devlin.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I refuse to bring him back, even if WWE does.
Yeah. It's even like the guy like John Morrison I want to do a lot with, but I don't know if I'm going to be doing it anytime soon just because I have a claw of him. I don't have the mods yet, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few guys, like that I would want to do more with, but it's just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like I want I have so many guys I want to use as my world champion, but then it's like, well, I don't want to make my title not prestigious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you're just the guy who faces the guy, and that's okay. There's a lot of wrestlers who don't value that position. And I know I'm going to get some heat for this from people who like him. That's who Triple H was.
Yeah.
Triple H was never the guy. Triple H was the guy wrestling the guy who drawed the money. So Triple H never was himself drawing the money. He was just wrestling the guys who draw the money.
Yeah.
Like, who is he wrestling? Who is Triple H wrestling? Stone Cold, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, the guys who draw the money.
So yeah, and then eventually like Randy Orton after Evolution, like the up and coming stars.
Yeah, or just the big draws company has. There's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys like that who just were guys who drawed the money, who were facing the guy who drawed the money. Almost everyone Bret Hart faced, almost everyone Hulk Hogan faced. It's just, so just getting someone that level they can main event a show is really cool to me.
Yeah.
So what I'm really excited for right now is Damian Priest. I like what I have planned for Priest right now.
I'm excited to see it.
And I am too. So okay, I don't know. Do you happen to know if EC3 wasn't released, how long would his reign probably have been?
To the Rumble.
To Rumble? Okay.
I think to the Rumble was our original plan.
So it would have been.
I could be wrong. It was to Survivor Series, but I'm pretty sure it was to the Rumble.
It would have been like 120 something day reign, 112 maybe.
I think so. Yeah, he was gonna get beaten by the Fiend.
Yeah.
I could be wrong though. I think at one point he may have been losing at Survivor Series. I don't know. It was so long ago. And the original plan from there was to have him go from that to trying to gain power on SmackDown to Braun Strowman turning on him to a WrestleMania match between babyface Braun Strowman and heel EC3.
With Braun going over, obviously.
Yeah. I love Braun Strowman. I am not afraid to admit how much I really like Braun Strowman.
I know, Adam. I think you're the complete opposite, aren't you?
Yeah, Braun Strowman's kind of been like my most disappointing guy in universe mode. I think he's like 1-6.
Do you guys know what the channel Wrestling with Regret?
Yeah.
I think I've seen some of their stuff.
I've seen a couple other videos.
He made this cover of the Particle Man song,
Mhm.
And they be Giants, but it was Braun Strowman, among man, won the tag belts with a fan. Braun Strowman, giving the fucks, while flipping the trucks. When he's on a rampage, it's time to duck.
Yeah, they kind of scuffed Braun Strowman. But is there anything else you want to cover today?
Today.
Ooh, I just thought of another question. If there was a superstar from each brand you could take and bring to NXT right now, who would they be?
Interesting question. That's a odd duck of a question because you don't want to be.
You don't want to spoil anything.
Matt Riddle.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Matt Riddle. No, yeah, that's my answer to that question. All right. Any other questions, guys?
I think I don't really have any more to really touch on today. Got a lot out of the mind of NXT. So
Yeah, that's great.
Greg. Okay, guys. I'm gonna end this. I kind of had this weird thing where I look back at some of the things that inspire me to book.
Mhm.
So if you guys want me to tell you guys some things that or to the audience that can help you out with booking, I can
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So something I really recommend is something called the OVW Omnibus. It's a 5.5-hour video, 5-hour, 10-minute video. You can watch it in chunks, and it's highlights from Jim Cornette's podcast, where he talked about how he booked OVW. That's something I find very useful. Anything on ECW is very useful. I think Jim Cornette and Paul Heyman are the best booking minds of the last 30 years. I think they're brilliant what they do. So that's something I would recommend. And, okay, so, guys, before I go, I have something to say to you guys.
What is it?
Okay. For the 11th NXT TakeOver, following NXT TakeOver 10 at WrestleMania 2 weeks before Money in the Bank Season 3.
Okay.
Hey,
wow.
That's awesome.
Just for us. And actually, the logo looks really cool.
Yeah, that was sweet.
And,
Thanks, guys.
the swords from the Cavaliers. I like that.
Yep.
That's awesome. I'm stoked for that.
I'll be there.
Let's go take over Cleveland.
I finally talked you over into it. Take over Cleveland, baby. It looks clean, though.
It does.
It actually looks really good.
Thanks.
I'm hyped for that. That's me awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yep. I had a few other logos that I drew up that all of them had the Cavaliers swords.
Mm-hmm.
I originally had one that was all the Cavaliers colored, and it was just too colorful for me.
Yeah, I mean that looks like a good.
Yeah.
The navy blue for the Cavs is a good place for that.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you coming on, Ray, and dropping another bombshell.
Yeah, I almost wanted to give a tribute to Stipe Miocic in the logo, but I couldn't. I'm an MMA guy. I love Stipe Miocic.
The question
Stipe's the guy here, man. Everybody loves Stipe.
Will you be allowed to use main roster guys? You should have someone like Gargano open the show, a Cleveland hero.
Yeah, that is true.
Or actually, or Ziggler. Ziggler's from Cleveland.
And The Miz.
Yeah.
Ziggler better be the damn champion.
Knowing Ray, it'll be Walter versus Ziggler, and Ziggler gets squashed in the main event in Cleveland.
Oh, that'd be tough.
Just basically leaves like this. He's like, all right, have a good night, everyone.
The city of Cleveland would never forgive me.
Just us two.
Yeah.
No, you guys are forgiving me. The state of Ohio would never forgive me.
The northeast part of Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Cincinnati people will be pretty happy.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get treated like LeBron did when he left.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
It's hey, we didn't need LeBron. Yes, we did. Shut up.
I guess the next time we'll see Ray on the podcast will be him and Xander for a a nice little 4-peat together.
That'll be interesting. It'll be fun to hear both of them bicker back and forth about when we ask questions.
I feel like when it's all four of us, I feel like it's just gonna be a shit show.
Can't wait.
It'll be fun though.
Like the Fox News screaming bit. We're all just yelling over each other.
Oh no, we're gonna have to get like buzzers to talk.
Yeah.
You gotta raise your hand in the video, like everyone put their right hand up.
When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
All right, guys. Well, make sure you guys check out NXT Take. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ray. I was talking over you on
a
NXT.
Fox News argument with all of you.
We'll bring up some topics and we can have a debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it live and let the fans decide who's right.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
All right. I guess that'll be the end of it here for today. We will see Ray again in the future. Trust me, I'm sure this won't be the last time he'll be on his podcast. If you want to subscribe to their Patreon, I was on a podcast quite a while ago with them when PTW wasn't even a thing.
On a podcast now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I'd be down.
And I guess that'll be the end today. We'll definitely link LS11 Universe.
We'll link the LS11. We'll also throw the Patreon right below them if you want to go check out if you want to subscribe and go check out the podcast that Prince Matters
for $1 a month.
Yep.
And NXT Takeover.
I'm actually about to sign up for
London, so go check that out.
Yes.
All right.
Go check out Takeover London.
At the very least, I'll probably see you guys when NXT Takeover Cleveland rolls around.
Yes,
at least.
sir, most definitely.
I better get a
watch-along.
cameo on that one.
Yeah. If you need local talent for a jobbing match, I got 2 guys for a great tag team.
I just let you guys be part of a 4-man commentary booth for Takeover Cleveland.
You do a bit. You cut to the crowd. And you 2 guys standing there.
Yeah.
Hey, that gives me an idea.
He's like, wait a second.
All right, I guess that'll be the end of it. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe. We are on the road to 200 subs. Make sure you guys subscribe to LS11 Universe Mode. They are about to hit 600 subs, which is impressive. Been subscribed since they were at 100. OG here. But make sure you guys go check out their links. They'll all be down below. And please go over there to LS11 Universe Mode, the newest NXT, and tell them Ray Wood sent you from our podcast, so he knows if he got
go on his video and comment pineapple, and if you did, you're a true fan.
Yes. But I guess that'll be the end until next time, guys. We'll see you. Bye, everybody. Have a good night. Oh, what a time.
Broadcast. I mean, you can just